There I am. Hi, everybody. My name is Wendy Keys Turnbull, and I am an independent demonstrator for the Stampin' Up! Company. Hi, everybody. Okay, I gotta turn my sound down. Hang on. There we go. Okay, I am not thrilled with my setup, but I'm still looking for other things, so we're just gonna go with this. You can see my ring light there. It's really hard to work my camera if I don't have it in the ring light and facing this way. So we'll do the best we can with what I've got today, and then I will work on coming up with a better option. So first thing I should tell you is I did do last week's drawing. I drew from all of the names who had commented. If you just liked, I didn't put your name in, but anybody who commented through this morning. In the future, I'm only going to do it if you comment within 24 hours that you've watched the rewatch or you've watched the main video. But today, being that it was our first one, I thought I would just go with let it have a week, see what happens. So the winner was Cheryl Saxby, that is backwards, and she won the Bedazzling, the retired paper from the what was it? July, December mini catalog. So Cheryl, I'll have that for you. I'll bring it to you tomorrow. Okay. All right. Let's see. Anything else I need to tell you? No. So I'm going to get right to it. We're going to work on some window pop-out cards today. And I'm going to show you the samples, and then on a couple of the samples, I'm going to do something a little bit different than what I did, but not too much. So let me switch you over. Hi, Lori. Glad you're here. All right, let me switch you over and get to my desktop. I'll cover you up here. This might take some finagling, so just bear with me. Well, that's not too bad. Guess I should turn my light. Okay, let's see what happens if I turn the light on. Hi, Maren. Glad to see you're here too. Okay, watch my fingers there. Sorry about that. All right, so first of all, this is the host code for this month, the D2YAPNEK. I guess last week my 2 looked like a Z, so I just wanted to clarify that that is a 2 right there. So today I'm going to be working with some things from the new mini catalog and from the celebration. I also will provide a link on here to order directly from me using the host code without having to go on to Stampin' Up! And look for me and everything. It'll take you right where you need to be. Hi, Pamela. So glad you're here too. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing I want to do is I know that at least Pamela and Maren already know about my monthly card class, but I wanted to go ahead and put that schedule up so that people can see it and know when my monthly classes are, and they are all on one weekend, a Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. You pick which day you want to come. Actually, I'm going to show you some. Hang on a second. I got like an 8 or 9 second delay, and I need to make sure that you can see what I'm showing. Okay. Okay, so oops, that's not what I want to show you. Hang on a second. Where did I put? Oh, you know what? I printed it and didn't bring it in. That's okay. I'll show it to you next week. It's information about my card class. But they're here in my home in Bloomfield, New York, which is in the Finger Lakes, up about 25 miles southeast of Rochester. So, all right. Today we're going to make window pop-out cards. And here is the supply list. Told you last week that I would be typing up a supply list so that you would have it each week. So that will be there. We're going to make 3 cards today, all very similar, but each one different than the one before it. So let me get started on the first one. Over here. Okay. This is the first card we will be making. This is using the Friendly Hello stamp set. And I'm also using the layered circle dies. and a stitched rectangle die and some ribbon. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. Let me pull everything out that I need. I think I'm a little bit more organized this week than I was last week, so hopefully everything will go smoothly. Let's see what we can do here. So I got this idea from a stamping genius named Jennifer McGuire. She's not with Stampin' Up, but each week, I think, she does like a 35 or 40-minute video, and she tries a different technique or tries new products from other companies and things like that. So this is where I got this idea from. Okay, so you will see that when we open the card, we have a nice little pop out, and that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. So I have all my pieces of paper here that I need. And the first thing we're going to do is we have our card base, which I'm going to fold, and I'm going to crease with a bone folder. Okay, there we go. And then we have this piece that's 6 1/4 by 5 1/2. And this we are going to use my scoreboard on. And we are going to score at 2. Oh, they came off. All right, that's all right. We are going to score at 2 inches and at 4 inches. And then we're going to make an accordion pleat with a mountain pleat on top, and you'll notice that the bottom is a little bit longer than the top 2 pieces, and that's exactly what we want. Let me set this aside. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and score these so that they're cooperative. Okay, now the first thing I want to do is I want to stamp my inside sentiment, because I don't want to have to try and stamp when it's folded like that. So I'm going to take my inside sentiment, hope you have the best birthday, and soft succulent ink. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp that. Sometimes I'll put, most of the time actually, I'll put a bird or a flower or something in here. Whoops, had it on my fingers. Oh well. And I'll put that in there too. I usually do that. But tonight, to save time, we're not going to do that. Okay, so now that's ready. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to get my tear and tape. So this is like a really strong adhesive that won't just get brittle, dry out, and make the card fall apart. So, and the thing I like is that it truly is just tear and tape. So you can just put your tape down. It's two-sided. You can tear it with your fingernail. I'm going to put it in 3 spots. All right, one more. Okay, all right. I'm going to take my, let me get that out of the way for now. I'm going to take my card base, and I am going to pull the covering off of this. 1, 2, 3. And I am going to line it up edge to edge, the outer edge of the accordion pleated piece with the outer edge of the inside of the card. Okay. Now the next step, oops, nope, you know what? That was a mistake, but that's okay. Now that I caught it, I can fix it. I needed to cut my hole in here first. So the next thing I'm going to do, which should have been the first thing, is I'm going to take this, make sure that's the right one, and it is. Okay, I'm going to take this, and I'm going to put it on here, and I'm going to run it through. Okay, so I've got my Stampin' Up! Emboss and die cut unit here, machine here. I'm using the full-size one this week. See that my things are still pretty torn up though. All right, I'm going to put this on here. And I'm going to put this slightly above center. Run it through the machine. Try to do it gently so I'm not shaking you all over the place. I'm standing up. I have one of those tables that you can lift up or lower. And I am... Hi, Terry. Hi, Barb. Okay, so now I have that. And I also want to put one in my, I think this is cherry cobbler mat. So what I'm going to do... just set that aside for a second, is I am going to line this up. I'm going to do it on the, well, you know, I can do it on the outside. Okay, I'm going to line it up the way I want it. And then I'm going to carefully open it, and I'm going to use a pencil to just go around a couple of these things here so I can have a place to line it up. Actually, I probably should do it with this in because it's hard to see that when I'm trying to put that in. So, put this in here. I think it wasn't the same size, but it is. Okay. Do this. Oh, let's see. Let's do it just in like 4 spots. Okay. Now I can take that off, and I can line this up with these. And I don't like the way that looks, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And if it's not perfect, it's not perfect. Okay. Okay. All right, now, one other thing that I want to do, because you'll see that I have the blue behind this. I'm going to cut that first circle down with a straight circle die. Okay, a smaller one. Just going to put it on top of it. Run that through. Hope I didn't knock it off of balance, off kilter. Okay. All right, good enough. And then I'm going to take my, where is my balmy blue cardstock piece? Well, looks like I might not have one out here. Good thing I happen to have a drawer full of pieces in here. Okay, that'll fit. Okay, now that looks more like pool party. Oh well, close enough. It's nice. You don't have to worry about it, really. And there it is. Okay, I'm just going to cut one of those. Okay. Oh, Lori. Yeah, I found this online. And I really like the way it looked. So, okay, so what we're going to end up with is this on top of this. So we have a little scallop around it. Okay. So I am done with that for now. Put it over. I think I'll put it on the floor here. All right. My next step, so I'm going to need something to keep this piece from flopping up when it opens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. This is not the piece. Boy, that's all right. Okay, from my whites down here, I need a 3" by 1 1/4 inch. Yep, 3" by 1 1/4. So 3". 1 1/4 inches. Okay, then I want this, that's not a very even, close enough. I want this to be scored at 1 1/2 inch along the 3" side. So use my scoring. There we go. Okay. So we need 2 hinges, but we're going to do it out of 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put more tear and tape on, and I'm going to put quite a bit on. 3 strips on each side of the score line. 1, 2, 3, and on the other side, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I'm just going to cut right down the middle here, and I could use my trimmer, but I think cutting through the tape, I'd rather use this rather than gunk up my trimmer blade. These I can clean a lot easier than a trimmer blade. Okay, so I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to put the fold against the outer edge here. So I'm just going to take the, I'm going to do it actually so that the thick one's at the top. Whoops. Okay. Get my, take your pick tool. Okay. And there we go. Okay, remember the fold is going to go against this edge. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the other side as well before I do that anything else. So let's see, I want it this way. So, dog hair. Gotta get it started. Okay. And over here, fold it, put it right up against there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the cover off of these. Okay, and then there's one more step you have to do. This took me a while to figure this out. We have to fold this flap in. Now, all we have to do is close the card. And ta-da! Okay, now we've got our pop-out flap. All right, now I am going to stamp my little birdie on here using the Stays On ink because I'm going to color it with blends, so I want to use Stays On. Sorry that it's shaking. I have the camera mount taped to my table. It's the only way I can keep it in place. Okay, right about there, I think. Oh, I just remembered I was going to use, yeah, I better make sure, use this pad, because with the clear mount stamps, sometimes they don't stamp as well if you don't have a good pad under them like that. And this is also a very dry Stays On. But no worries. We have another side to this circle. We'll just flip it over and do it again. And hopefully this has enough ink in it. I don't know. I have all my Stays On pads and other things. So if this doesn't do it, we're just going to go with what we've got. That's better. Okay. So, and then I think while I'm stamping, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do the Hello Friend with the leaves behind it. So the leaves are done in Soft Succulent. Where are you, leaves? Well, that's interesting. Oh, up here, of course. Okay. I just kind of put them any which way. There we go. Okay. And then, unfortunately, this is not going to be the best ink pad to be doing this with. Let me see here. Let me grab one from the next card. Okay, this one should be inkier than that one. The Stays On refill inks are back ordered right now, so I can't spruce them up yet. I have to wait for them to come back in stock. It was supposed to be January 24th, and now it says February 7th, so this looks pretty good. Okay, so stamp that there. Nice. Okay. you know what? While I'm at it, might as well finish up the stamping. So you'll see on the sample, I have the leaves and the flowers done in ink. And I'm going to go ahead and put this in because I'm going to save these. I may use these for something in the future. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back in and stamp with that in there. Okay. Well, that didn't do very well, did it? There, that one's better. Okay. And the flowers. I'll put one down here. Okay. There we go. All right. So now I can actually go ahead and just glue this right on here. And you'll see I did not do a good job of centering that at all. So, what do I do? It's not going to matter. Oh, look at that. That's what I did wrong. All right, well, let's do those real quick then. Just did the wrong side, that's all. Okay. And these. I'm going to put another one over here. Okay, that's better. Lid. Okay. Now, that's better. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just use tape. I did get my Stampin' Seal Plus in, so I'm very happy about that. Got the stuff that I really like back. Okay. Put a little up here. All right, get the card back. And voila. Okay. Now we need to color this guy in. And I decided to make him a bluebird. So I used blue and I used light balmy blue and light cherry cobbler to color him. And I just kind of colored his feathers, his tail feathers, and his head with the blue. And I'm doing it hurried, so don't mind it. I think I used the other end when I did it before, so, okay. Fill it in with the blue, or the red, and then kind of went back over that part, the edges with the blue to kind of blend it in a bit. There we go. Okay. Then the branch is a dark soft suede. Much easier to use the skinny side for this one. Okay. And then for the leaves, I used the light soft succulent, and I just went in to the white spots that were showing in the black that I, whoops, oh well, that I stamped. I slipped right, my elbow slipped right off the table. Okay. Okay, and then for the flowers, I used light pumpkin pie and dark mango melody. And what I did was I did, did mango melody. I just kind of went over the lines in the flowers and the centers. This is much faster than I would have done normally, so don't mind if it's a little messy. It's just a sample, although somebody will end up with it probably. And then I used the light pumpkin pie to color in. You'll see on this one, I actually think I did that flower in reverse, but then I liked that one better, so I decided that's how I would do them for tonight. Remind me, well, you don't have to remind me, I'm going to remember. When I'm all done showing you the 3 cards, I'm going to show you that the cards that we'll be making at the class on February 12th, 13th, and 14th. If any of you would like to attend, I already know some of you are. Okay, then I like to use Tombow because I just like the way you have the ability to move it around before it dries, unlike with tape. Okay, there we go. Now here's another trick. You want this to stay on here. So we're going to put tear and tape here and here, and we're going to put it on with tear and tape. We're using a lot of tear and tape tonight. Okay, so I'll just put one here and one over here. Okay. Smooth it down. Take off the outer wrapping. Oops. Okay. And position the birdie how we want it. Got to make sure it fits in there. And there we go. There's our birdie. So all we have to do is the sentiment. So I'm going to take my ribbon, and I've got a lot more ribbon here than I need, but I happen to have a loose piece, so I thought I would just grab it. Okay, all I did was I folded it in half. Oh, sorry, I got to cut this out. Hang on. Almost forgot. I'm going to cut my banner out. Okay. Okay. So did you guys hear that we're going to get more snow Wednesday night over to Thursday? That should be fun. After having nice warmish days today and tomorrow. Okay. That goes away again. All right, so here we go. So all I did was I ran some tape back here. And there's my ribbon. Oh, there's a smaller piece of ribbon. I'll use that one. Okay. And I just put it over here, and I wanted to make sure that some was sticking out at each end. And it is. And then I took my dimensionals. Where are my dimensionals? Right where they're supposed to be, I hope. There we go. Oh, a fresh one. Okay. Dimensional. Okay. Whoops, that one's going to be a little over the edge. Not on that one. Okay. And then I just put it here. Right there. And there you have it. Ta-da! Okay, other than the print from my thumb getting in the ink. All right, so that was card number 1. Card number 2 is using... Oh, let me just clear this off. Card number 2 is using the new set that is available from now until... Where did you go, paper? Right there. In the wrong bin. From now until May 2022, 2nd of May 2022. So it's called All Together. I love this set. I think it's absolutely beautiful and has great meaning. And there's so many different kinds of cards you can make with this. So I'm really enjoying playing with it. We're doing a card with this for the card class in 2 weeks. All right, let me just drop everything in here. Get it out of my way. The ribbon, the soft succulent. Bye-bye. Okay, keep that out. Okay. Here is the next card. We'll get through this together. So I did a birthday card, kind of a I promise. I love that. Just plain and simple. Kind of a, not really a sympathy card, but I'm here to help kind of card. And then the final one is I can't remember. I think it's a sympathy card. Okay. So And you'll notice this time I used rectangles. These are from the Stitch So Sweetly die set. Stampin' Up! Doesn't have any nestable rectangles or squares right now other than with other die sets that go with stamp sets. So, okay, let me just show you the back of this since this is available now. These are all the individual things you can do, and we're going to be using these natural tone stamping blends. There are 10 of them. There are 2 each of light, medium, medium deep, and deep. So I will show you those. We'll use those. Here's a little sheet I made to show you how they are. And they're actually numbered. They don't have names, they have numbers. So 700, 600, 300, 400, 500. Oh, this must be, I don't know. Anyhow, they go from 100 to 1,000, obviously. Okay, so there you go. All right. I already did some of the things, but not a whole lot. Okay, so I'm using, there's the stamp set. And here is the paper is called All Together. And I'm using some of that paper. So, whoops, I forgot to get rid of that. Sorry. Oh, look, there was that other piece I needed. Oh, well. Okay. Here we go. So let me move this stuff out of the way. I probably should have taken them out of their packages, but okay, so this is what we're going to make. This is what it looks like on the inside. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to color this. So let me dump all of these out real quick. I can clean them up later. That way I won't be rattling plastic while I'm working. I'll have it all done at once. I hope we're not going to be buried, Barb, but it kind of does sound. Of course, you're closer to the lake too, so you'll get buried before we do. But, okay, here we go. So what I did with this, I actually took them in order, but since I don't have them in order right now, I just colored each hand in real quick, like not being particularly neat, sorry. Helps if you use the full phrase. Okay, set that one aside, grab another one, open the wrong end of the other one. All right. I should do nail polish on some of these. I should put colors on that makes it look like they're wearing nail polish. That would be neat. Maybe I'll do that sometime. Let's use one of this one. Okay, so keep in mind that some of these are going to be covered because the hole's going to be cut in the middle, but I'm still going to color. Basically, this part here is going to be cut out, but that's okay. Okay, let's see here. Let's use another light colored one. Go down here. So you see they pretty much cover every skin tone. When I saw these, I knew I had to have them. A while back, I made a cheat sheet that showed what color of stamping blends you could use for skin tones. But then they came out with the skin tones, so it makes it a lot easier. Okay, I'm not going to be too worried about, well, that wouldn't have been good, but oh well. Too worried about being messy right now. Just going to get it colored in real quick. Like I said, normally I'd be taking a lot more time to do this neatly. Okay. I'm just going to do the outer fingers here because that one's going to be cut out completely. I'll have to do the other end of its hand, but that's all. Okay. Some of the tips on my blends are in really bad shape because they've been used a little bit too hard. Probably part of that is my grandsons because they love to use my stuff. They usually don't use my blends, but one never knows what they're doing when I'm not around because they live with us right now, so, which I love. All right, let's see. Oops, that was very messy. Ugh, hard to color in a hurry. Okay, I'm just going to do the one more color, and then what I did was I started all over again with the colors again. And so I kind of went around, you'll see here, I kind of went around the page and did all different colors. I like the meaning of that. We are one. Okay, so you'll get the idea. I'm not going to color the whole thing in right now. I can color it after it's all put together underneath. So I just want to get on here, move on here so that you guys, I'm not keeping you all night long. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these out, and I'm going to cut these out with my punch, and then we'll get started. Okay, so let me bring my machine back up here. All those over there out of my way. I am a bit more organized this week than I was last week. I didn't have a card class that hadn't been cleaned up yet either, so that helps a lot when that's all cleaned up so everything's where I can use it. Okay, so I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to put the large scalloped rectangle, and it barely fits, but it does fit. Maybe I'll do it this way so that I have less to color later. All right. Trying to do this without shaking everything really isn't easy. Okay. There's that. I'm going to save that for later. Now I'm going to take the black one, and I'm going to put that on there. And I'm going to put the smaller one inside of it. And I'm going to line them up as evenly as possible. Let me move this over a little so you can see what I'm doing here. Hopefully you can. Pull it out a little. Okay, so I want it to be even pretty much all the way around. So, see where I can get it. That looks pretty good. And I'm going to take a piece of washi tape, and I'm going to put it on there. I'm going to cut this out. Okay. There we go. Hopefully I can peel the washi tape off without peeling. Well, it won't really matter. Okay, there we go. So this is really the only part I want right here, because I want to put it after I have stamped and colored my image. I want to put this around it, and I just realized that I need plain white paper for that, which I happen to have right here. All right, so I'm going to cut another big rectangle out. If I had a flat, a straight-edged rectangle die this size, I would use it. But like I said, Stampin' Up! Doesn't have any regular layering rectangle dies right now. So I'll just do this. Okay, there we go. And typically, you would probably stamp before you cut out, but I did this the other way and it worked out just fine. So, okay, so did I throw away the wrong piece? Yes. Nope, there it is. I just didn't throw anything away. Okay, so I'm going to use this, and I'm going to use, I love this little pinky swear stamp. I think it's my favorite stamp in the whole set. And there we go. Nice. Okay. And then these two I will color. Grab two randoms. Doesn't matter what color they are. These I will color neatly, because they're going to be front and center on the card. Kind of what the card's all about. Okay. Kind of boring watching somebody color, isn't it? Okay. Knuckles. There we go. And this one. Okay. And I like to highlight the lines that they make and things. I think it just makes it look better. Okay, so all we're going to do is we're going to glue this to this real quick like. So we have a nice little frame. Whoops, I didn't want that much to come out. Okay. It's good that it stays sticky so you can line it up. It's good that it stays wet, but it stays sticky on your hands too. So I have to be careful not to get it all over my hands and all over my paper. I have this really cool thing that I bought. I think it was from scrapbook.com that holds your glue down so that it's always at the point when you're ready to use it. I love that thing. Okay, let's, oops, I forgot I got to make a hole in my card again. Okay, this time I'm going to be smart. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this, and the nice thing is I don't have a mat. I do have a mat on it, actually. I have this mat on it. So I'm just going to put that here, like so. And I'm going to line this up with it. There we go. And this is going to leave a mark on the side that I want to decorate. So I'm going to end up turning it over and cut and attaching it. Wait a minute. Oh yeah. Okay, never mind. That's not going to matter because it's going to be cut out like that. I am thinking of something else. Okay, one more time for this. And because this die is a little bit warped, I'm going to tape it down to make sure it stays where I want it to once I put the... So I'm centering that pencil mark in the center of it. Okay. Oops, good thing I put that down because I just lifted it with my slightly sticky finger. Okay. Alrighty. There we go. When I first got this die cutting machine, I wasn't sure I liked it, but now it's my favorite one to use. I have a couple of electric big shots that keep dying on me. They go one direction, and then this week one of them stopped working completely, and I'm sick of calling. I think I got those from scrapbook.com too, and I'm sick of calling them. So okay, so now we're going to take this and we're going to put it here. That's our next step. And I am going to use tape at the top and the bottom. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of glue along the edges because the tape is a little too wide for the edges. Make sure I don't stick that. Okay. My computer seems to be working better tonight than it was last week. Must be everybody's off the internet while I'm doing this. Okay. I'm going to line it up on the... Oops, let's get that little dimensional cover off. Line it up right where I want it. Maybe. There we go. Nice. That's my new word, nice. Okay. Fold it, score it. Looks funny with that blank up there. My glue back. Save that for another time. All right, what's next? The next thing is to stamp our outside sentiment. We'll get through this together, and I'm using Melon Mambo ink. Nice bright pink to go with our blacks and whites and browns. Okay, I pushed too hard and it's pretty juicy. So we'll do the other side. That's better. Okay. And we'll use the punch. And we're going to punch out one with of the white. Get it where I want it with my take your pick tool, punch, and I'm going to punch out one out of black. And I'm just going to use the inside of the frame that I cut. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this black one in half. Doesn't really matter where, because the top and bottom aren't going to show, just the sides are going to show. I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, you know what? I think it's quicker if I just do this. All right. That's kind of crooked. That was probably the better one. Nope, it wasn't. Oh, it doesn't matter. Okay. There's one side. Here's the other side. I will get that glue off, or that tape off later. I have a tape eraser. Okay, now we have to do the inside, and I've already scored it. So we're going to go ahead and fold it, crease it. Okay, I'm going to stamp the inside sentiment, the I promise, also in Melon Mambo. There we go. Get that glue off there. All right. And once again, gonna put our tear and tape at the back. Oh, I just remembered I forgot to put the butterfly on the other card. I'll show you that in a minute. It's only take a second. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to just, I put those on kind of quickly, so I'm going to make sure that the tape is stuck. Oops, that did not come all the way off, did it? There we go. All right. One more. There we go. My garbage should be on the other side of me. All right, here we go again. We're going to line it up with this edge. All the way down and at the tops and bottoms, and that is not, it's taller. Okay, then we're going to take our piece that's 3 by 1 1/4. And again, we're going to put our tear and tape on here on each side. I did do it all the way across on the very first one I made, which wasn't too bad actually. It still folded well, but it meant that I had to take the covers off of the double-sided tape on both sides at the same time, which made it, you had to be a little bit more careful about how you were handling everything when you were assembling. So I decided on the next one to just do it one side at a time. Okay, they are kind of crooked, but that's okay. They'll work. And once again, we're going to cut up the middle. And it doesn't have to be perfect because it's just a hinge. It's not going to be seen. Okay, we're going to take these pieces off. Okay, now remember again that we're opening this flap all the way up like this. And then we're putting the folded edge of the hinge against the outer edge. There we go. Do the same thing on the other side. I'm sorry, I'm standing and I'm leaning kind of sideways because of the way my camera and my light ring is set up. Okay, this way. I think I'm good. Okay, we might as well. So remember, you want to fold it over so that the bottom part of the front flap is going to hit the hinges. So we'll pull these off. I'm telling you, when I was figuring this out, that took me forever to figure that part out. I couldn't figure out why. It's like, no, the hinges will be in the middle of the card. That won't work. So, okay. I'm going to just trim that hinge off when it comes time. All right, so there's your flap. Actually, I think I'll trim that hinge off right now. Ooh, maybe I'll just trim this whole thing off right now. Probably would have been better with my trimmer, but it's working. Good enough. Okay, so we just have two things left to do. The first thing is to put the tear and tape down here and put that piece on, the center piece, the pièce de résistance. No, I don't speak French. Okay. Pull those off. 1, 2, 3. Put this on right where you want it. And hopefully it comes through there. And there you go. Oops, wait, I gotta put that on. That's the second thing we had to do. We have to grab my dimensionals. Where did I put them? Well, let's see. I have black dimensionals. We'll just use those right now since it's a black background anyhow. I like to put 3 across so it doesn't get a dip in the middle of it when it's in the envelope. If you don't have this right here, sometimes it can get crushed. That is really crooked. So, not perfect, but a Wendy original, as I said last week. Anything that's not perfect is an original. Okay, so that's that one. All right. Now, let me just show you real quick since I have it right here. This first card is supposed to have one of these brushed brass butterflies on the leaf and make it look like the bird. See, I've got it so it looks like the bird is looking at it right here. So I'm going to put a bigger one on this time. Okay. I'm going to put it flying that away. There we go. There. All right. There's that. Okay, the third and final card. I'm going to put those right there where I can see them. Let me just clear all this off. Bring the last one on. So for the third and final card, I did something a little bit different, and I'm going to do something even a little bit more different than what I did. So, all right. Get that in there, get this in there, get this in there, move that aside. Okay. And yes, this is just like a friendship card. Okay. So just a card to say you were amazing. Thanks for brightening my day. Where would I be without a friend like you? So you see this one has a mat, but it's not decorated. And I used just a couple of basic colors. I love dark green and blue, or dark green and dark blue together. So, okay, for this, rather than one window, you can see I cut 3 windows out, and I did it with this, which is called, I always have to look because I can never remember what this is called. Picture this. This is a picture this die, and it comes with the rectangles, and then there's one that has several circles in it. So, all right, get everything out that I need. For this one, I am using 2 stamp sets. The first one for the sentiments is Special Moments, which is a celebration item. And then I used from the current catalog, Positive Thoughts. It's one that I don't use a lot, and I think that it looks really nice here with this. So, okay, so, and did I do? I did not. Shoot. Okay. Well, that's all right. We're going to start. You know what? For this one, because there's no, oh, there is stitching, but it's big stitching. I'm going to try something. I'm going to try cutting these out at the same time to save a little time. So I'm going to put that on there, and I'm going to put this on here, and I am going to use a piece of washi tape in the middle. One more time with the little machine, or the big machine. Okay. Line it back up the way I want it. Want it centered on the front here. That looks pretty good. Crank her through. I'll crank her back through a second time just to make sure. The nice thing is I'm cutting the mat out on the top, so it's really going to show the stitching part. And who cares if it shows on the Very Vanilla, because that's not going to show. But it does show on the Very Vanilla. So, and it did cut them out, and that's good. Ooh, almost didn't, but it did. That's okay, because I'm going to do something slightly different with this one. Okay, so there we go. So that is done and that is done, and then I have these 3 pieces that are going to be the pieces that go in there. Don't know if you can see that. I'm going to put them down here. The 3 pieces I cut out of the Very Vanilla. And the mat is Evening Evergreen. And I'm going to go ahead and save those pieces for another time. You should see the drawer of scraps I have. It's crazy. Okay, so I'm using Night of Navy and Evening Evergreen. So I don't need stays on for this one. That's good. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this right on here, because why not, right? Okay, I'm going to use glue so that I have time to get it exactly into position the way I want to. Should be working where you can see me. And I want to make sure that it gets along these edges very lightly, because I don't want glue all over my card, but I do want to make sure that my corners are adhered down so that they don't lift at a later date. Whoops. Okay. So I'll go ahead and put that on here. Okay. And I put it on upside down because it's not even, and it was even, so I'm just going to take it off, flip it around, and there we go. That's why it's important to use glue and not tape. Okay. Let me just grab my scoreboard and score the inside piece. Whoops, you know what? I'm just going to score it with my trimmer. So at 2, how many times have you guys gone to use the scorer on your trimmer and use the cutter instead? I do that at least once a week. Okay. Yes, Cheryl, I knew you would like the feather on Positive Thoughts. Yep, it is pretty. Okay, so we've got our folds. And we're going to stamp the inside first, remember? And the inside is pretty involved here. So blue ink. And really, I stamped blue on either side because I was too lazy to switch colors. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the words in green ink and the outside in blue ink. So let me find that. And I'm going to need the mat because the Special Moments stamps are photopolymer. So I'm going to use my mat. Okay, green ink for the words. Nice. Blue ink for the flourish. Flourish on top. Flourish on bottom. I really like how it's not a full stamp. It has little blotches in it. It makes it look kind of antique-y. I really like that. Okay, while I'm stamping, I might as well stamp these 3 as well. So it's going to be the blue butterfly in the middle of the long skinny one. And he just barely fits, but he fits. And then let me clean this off. I'm going to do green flourishes on either side of the butterfly. Green flourish here, Green flourish here. Nice. Okay. And then, let's see. Thanks for brightening my day is blue. Actually, they're both blue. Thanks for brightening my day. And just a card to say you were amazing. Goes up here. There we go. Okay, so the different thing I'm going to do on this card that I haven't done on the other ones, you've noticed how all of the other windows just fit really tight in the middle of the openings. So what I'm going to do on this one is I am going to trim these stitches off. And that's going to leave a little bit of a gap. It's also going to take a tiny bit of the butterfly off, but that is okay with me. Okay. Trying to stay as true to the dotted lines as I can so that it'll be nice and even. And okay, there's one. Yeah, I like that. Now I could also edge these rectangles in either the Evening Evergreen or the Night of Navy or some of each. I don't think I'm going to do that tonight just because I'm not feeling in an edging mood. Okay, there's two. One more. Feels like I may have stamped this on the opposite side that I was supposed to anyhow, because I feel like there's a rough edge curling up on this side. So just as well that I'm cutting it off, although it really wouldn't make that much of a difference. And last side. Okay. Not creased that yet either. Okay, I'm just going to throw this on the floor and clean it up later because that's how I roll. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead with my tear and tape one more time. Make sure I've got the right edge. Yes, I do. Correct edge. Which actually is the right edge when it goes inside the card. Is in directionally. Okay. All right. Let's get them nice and firm on there. And then one off, two off. And three off. And again, we're going to line this up with the edge inside the card. Okay, we're going to put down. Got to do our hinges again, and I did not score this, so let me score this real quick using the correct end. Okay. Put our tape on again. 1, 2, 3. If anybody else is here, let me know. Anybody who hasn't put anything down yet, remember there's a prize. Cheryl, I don't know if you were on yet when I showed what you won. But you can go back and look if you weren't. Okay. So I'm just going to make sure these are nice and firm on here. I'm going to cut this one in half again, the long way. Okay. Here we go, one last time. Again, the crease of the hinge lines up with the outer edge of the card. It doesn't necessarily have to be right here, although for this it does, because it's going to, actually it might be even a little too wide. It may end up showing a tiny bit there. And if it does, I'll have to make sure that the tape is not stuck to the front of the card. Okay. So much faster with the Take Your Pick tool. I love my Take Your Pick tool. And I did that one opposite. Well, that's all right. That's all right. Okay. Here we go. Open that up. Uncover that one. Remember to close that upper flap while opening up the hinges. Oh, it fits nicely. There we go. Okay. And all we have to do is put these in. So again, we're going to put our tear and tape here, 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 here. That's only 5. There's another here. All right. 1, 2. I could put a couple of pieces, 3 pieces here, but I'm just going to do 2 because it's pretty secure with 2. And 4, 5, and ooh, a little crooked there. 6, okay. Do them one at a time. I want just a card to say you're amazing at the top. And these, oh, I shouldn't have put it so close to the edge because remember I made these smaller. So this is going to go here. And then this one with the butterfly is here. Oops. I tried to use the feather with the butterfly, but there was no way to make it work. So, and then thanks for brightening up my day goes down here. There you go. Now, we could put something, I could have put something on the inside of there and on here so that there was something in color showing through the edges or whatever. So this is what you've got for this card. There you go. Let me make sure I didn't put anything. Oh, yes, I did. I almost forgot the Holiday Rhinestone Basic Jewels. And I used 3 of them. Blue. I put 1 up here by just a card to say you're amazing. And I put another little one on the butterfly's body. And I put a bigger one. Nope, I used a little one. Down here in this corner. And there you go. So you have the one that is right flush with the edges. And you have the one that has a little bit of space there. And like I said, you could put something around there. Or you could have edged these and it would have looked kind of neat having the different color, the dark blue there too. So, okay, so those are my cards for today. And I just want to quickly, I can't believe I've been over an hour. I quickly want to show you the projects we're doing on February 12th, 13th, and 14th. So we have this sympathy card, thinking of you with sympathy and prayers. And this is the new daffodil set, which I should have had open, but that doesn't matter. And then inside, may the memories of yesterday comfort you today. Okay, that's 1. We always do 4 cards and a project or learning a new skill or technique. Okay, and we have a miss you card with the new, this also is from the mini catalog. And I left this blank, so you can do whatever you want with it. I love the little bumblebees, and I love the flowers. And then this I used the All Together set, but I didn't use any of the stamps except for To Me. I used the die. I also left that one blank, so you could put whatever you wanted inside. And finally, this is the Awesome Otters. This is from the celebration. It's birthday time. You are utterly awesome. So those are what we're going to do. Oh, and here is the project. It's a technique card. We're doing a shaped trifold card. So it's a birthday card. It's got the butterflies on the front. It's got this under the flap, and I don't know if you can tell, I use the stitched greenery die to put an imprint on the back here. I really like the way that looks. And then on the inside, a spot for you to write your own personal message. So those are the things we'll be doing this month in the card class. So that's it. I'm going to try and turn back to my face, but it's probably not going to work really well. So hang on there. There I am inside my little loop. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Be sure to tell your friends. Go ahead and share the video if I think you can share it. Like I said, I'll link to the host code link where you can just click on the link and order from me if you want to. If you want to do the class, if you're in this area, I just need to know a week in advance so I can prep for it. I also have to-go kits available. The class is $20 or $25 worth of merchandise from any catalog before shipping and handling and tax. For people who are demonstrators under me, they only pay $10 for the class. And if you want the to-go kit mailed to you, so really anybody in the country can do it, I would just have to have postage to get it to you, and I would find the safest, cheapest way to send it. So I am looking forward to this month's class too, Barb. Thanks everybody for being here. I'm going to try and keep it shorter in the future, but I am really glad to see you guys here, and I'll be doing a drawing for the winner for this week as well. I'm going to give everybody 24 hours to watch the rewatch and then comment. Thanks. Bye.